What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon speculation video. And today, similar to last night's video, we are going to be talking about likely Mega Evolutions that could appear in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So they could either add some more Megas and have that be the focus of the game, or they could add some Megas and some Alolan Forms and have, basically just share the love. We don't exactly know. It's more likely to go for Alolan Forms, but Megas are something people always like hearing about, so definitely going to talk about it for a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do exactly the same as I did last night with the Generation 2 Pokemon from the Alolan Dex. Now, it would make sense just to give, them existing sort of Pokemon Mega Evolutions. So if you think about Oras, home Pokemon were the majority, the ones that got Mega Evolutions in Oras there, because they were already in the home Dex. It makes sense, I suppose, because it was a remake, it was a sequel, whatever. It's slightly different here because obviously Alolan Dex isn't really quite Generation 3, but the reason we're also looking at Johto Pokemon is down to the fact that Generation 1 has quite a lot of Megas. Generation 2, i.e. Johto, has a few, but it doesn't have as many. Generation 1 has loads, Generation 3 has loads, Generation 2 has a few, but not huge amounts. Generation 4 is similar, and then obviously 5 and 6 have hardly any, and we expect that in the future. So if anything, in terms of Megas, I would expect Johto and possibly Sinnoh, but even then, Sinnoh you might want to leave till Generation 4 remakes, so maybe not there. Johto to get at least a reasonable sort of bit of effort, bit of weight in terms of Mega Evolutions, because they are the group that's sort of been left out in terms of going like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So that's why we're looking at this group here. So if I flash up the Pokemon from the Alolan Dex that are in the Johto or Generation 2 Dex, you can see here, good selection, same as we saw last night. So first thing we can knock out is of course Scizor, because he's already got a Mega, so he could just leave, get out of here. So in terms of what else we can knock out anything that isn't a final evolution, because of course we only know what we know, that only final evolution line Pokemon get Mega Evolutions. It makes sense. So Spinarak obviously gone, Sneasel gone, Porygon 2 gone, Ladybug gone, anything that's not at the end of its evolution chain. So here we have the final evolutions, and then obviously the single individual Pokemon like Corsola and Delibird and all of that. So then I'm going to knock out a few that are very unlikely to get Megas, so that includes, there's only a few, that includes Espeon, Umbreon and Blissey. So obviously Espeon and Umbreon are just not going to get Megas. I would be surprised if they did. I think a lot of people would be surprised, because then it's like, well, that's sort of giving a bit of favoritism almost to particular Mega Evolutions, whereas you don't really want to do that. You want to keep it equal. So it almost feel like if you give it to one Mega Evolution rather, you have to give a Mega to everyone, and it would be a bit weird anyway. I don't think it would fit the whole mantra of Eevee. Blissey's also gone rather, because no one wants a Mega Blissey. No one wants a Mega Blissey. It's already a huge health point stat, huge special defense stat. What are you going to do when you give it a Mega? Give it better attack and make it even better? Give it better defenses and just make it insanely powerful? It's not going to happen, I don't think. It would just be weird as well. As part of a 3-stage evolution chain, yes, okay, those Pokemon do get Megas, but the whole mantra about it, Chansey obviously works with Eevee like brilliantly, so Blissey does not really need a Mega at all. Which of course leaves us with this smattering of Pokemon across here, final evolutions and obviously singular Pokemon. So now I'm going to pick out a few Pokemon that I think would be the likely candidates to get Megas. And we'll go across from left to right. So first up, top left, we have Skarmory. Now Skarmory is in my pick list here, simply because I feel like a Mega would be pretty cool for it. Just hear me out. Mega Skarmory, pretty damn cool, becomes either really defensive or becomes really offensive and gets some good speed off of it, and just it sort of hypes it up a bit. It is a single Pokemon on its own, but I feel like it is deserving of a Mega, similar to, I'm trying to remember other Mega Evolutions at this point, similar to other Megas, like Sableye for example. Skarmory can stand on its own currently, and it can boost up even higher into a Mega if need be. Then just below we have Politoed. This is a weird one, but I feel like Politoed could get a Mega of some description. Of course, if you were to give it one, you might want to have to slide over and give Poliwrath one too, which is the only reason I'm less confident in a Mega Politoed, because of course then we've already had plenty of Generation 1 Megas, as I've said. So really, if you give them to Politoed, you have to give them to Poliwrath, and you're just going around on yourself then, and it's just a bit too much. But I guess it's a possibility still. You can imagine it has some sort of nice combos similar to Mega Charizard Y, where you have Drizzle with Politoed, and then you can Mega and have Swift Swim, for example, and really work together like that. Similarly, going down, we then have Granbull we meet at the bottom, and Mega Granbull I feel like would be amazing. You can make it like a Fairy Dark type, Fairy Fighting type, has some really cool typing on it, really buff up and beef it out a bit. I think it would be really cool. It's just it's a Mega I've always sort of had on the tip of my tongue, and I would really quite like to see it. Followed then up by Sudowoodo, because it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek one. I'm not overly confident about it. It wouldn't be a huge thing, but it's something they could do. Or really what Sudowoodo might need is a final evolution, because obviously you have Bonsly, Sudowoodo. Give us something else, like a huge tree, an Ent, for example. That might work, but a Mega is just as equally similar. And then moving on to the final Pokemon, we have Slowking. Now this is sort of the easiest one, I guess you could say, because of course we have Mega Slowbro, so it only makes sense that Mega Slowking happens at some point. Whether it will or not, I don't know. Game Freak, as we've found in the last few years, aren't sort of working to a script. They're not saying, okay, we give this. They do it whenever they want to. So they might not. So there's one possibility there. In regards to the other Pokemon I haven't actually highlighted as likely, let's just go over it quickly. Crobat. I feel like a Mega Crobat is not really needed. It's fast enough as it is. It's got a decent attack stat. You don't need a Mega Crobat there. It's possible, but I just can't see it happening. Ladian, and as well as Ariados, you could definitely give them Megas, similar to how Beedrill has a Mega, but I just don't see it as a huge pick, in my opinion. And then Miltank, again, Mega Miltank, possible I suppose, make it really beefy, but it's already pretty reliable how it is, so just can't see it. Lantern, I haven't highlighted it, but I do see a Mega Lantern possible. Definitely can, do something with it, give it some really high special defense, good special attack, for example, and just beef it up and I keep saying beef it up, but you guys get the idea. Slim it out actually for Lantern, make it longer, use its lights as like trailing things. We've seen designs for Mega Lantern in the past, and that would be really cool. Smeargle is obviously not highlighted here because I just can't see him doing much with Mega Smeargle, really. There are possibilities, you could spit people out those special abilities and stuff like that, but I just can't see it being a standard Mega. It's possible, but it's just not a top choice. Moving along further, we have Delibird and Corsola. There's not much to say about these two apart from the fact that them getting a Mega would be very unlikely because they're just Delibird and Corsola. I can't see. You could do some really weird possibilities with it, but it's not really a high priority for Game Freak in terms of when they bring out Megas, they want to be people to be like, oh my god, my favourite Pokemon's getting a Mega, or oh my god, that Mega is really cool. If they reveal a Mega Corsola, oh great, I'm never going to use it because Corsola is terrible to begin with, so what's the point? So that's the idea behind that. But those are my picks for the likely Pokemon to get Megas. Of course, this is just from the Generation 2 Pokemon from the Alolan Dex, so it's very slimmed down. Obviously I'll look at in the future other Pokemon that are currently in the Alolan Dex from Generation 4, Generation 5, maybe in Generation 6. Might do a general sort of Mega overview video and possibilities in terms of what Megas might come from there. But that's just my thoughts on Generation 2 for tonight. So let me know down below in the comment section, what Megas or what sort of Megas we'd like to see come and be part of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, if any. If you'd like old Megas to still take a generation out and then come back in Generation 8, let me know that too. But that's going to be it for me for today, so I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.